Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog. What a magical morning we have woken up to. A little dusting of snow sprinkled over the Cotswolds, I think at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we woke up to the most beautiful, yes, very light dusting of snow, which always feels very, very magical. We've taken the boys out for a fairly quick walk. We did our mega adventure walk yesterday, but the boys definitely needed a little bit of tiring out. And please let me know if your dog is like this as well, but Dickens in particular, he just goes crazy when it's the snow. I don't know if it's because maybe his senses are heightened, maybe other animal smells are a lot more prominent, but he just goes absolutely crazy. So there's a couple of things that I would like to do on my agenda for today and tomorrow. A little bit of an early to mid-January reset. Definitely can't be saying mid-January just yet. It's such a long month, isn't it? But yeah, there's a few things I would like to do. I've been talking a lot about my lovely tea concoctions lately, and I think my phone must definitely be listening to me, because I've certainly not searched any, but now my Instagram Explore page is just full of them. And one particular idea that I saw was to use coconut water in your juice, and then it's just going to add a little bit more hydration and electrolytes into your juice, and then I use the pulp to make my little ice cubes, which then become my morning tea. It's all very circular and I love to do it. So I actually used up the second to last of my ice cubes from my last immunity juice today. That's the third time I filled this teapot up with hot water. It's definitely not a strong tasting tea. You could definitely add more to it, like when I still had my little Christmas ice cubes left with cranberries and clementine and rosemary in them. I added those in too. But now it's just lemon, ginger, apple, and a little bit of honey, I guess. There still would have been a little bit of honey in the pulp. But anyway, we're going to make another batch now, because January is the month where, I don't know about you, it feels like everyone around me is getting ill, and I'm determined to avoid that at all costs, especially as Charlie and I have got a holiday coming up in a couple of weeks, so I really want to not get poorly, fingers crossed. So anything I can do, ginger within my morning tea and my morning juice, sounds like a good idea. So let's get prepping the next batch. Oh, that is actually still a really strong flavour considering how many times I've topped up that teapot. So this is what we're going to be blending up today. I have got 1 apple for sweetness, and I'll also use some, I'm probably actually going to finish this off because I want to I want to use the jar. Manuka honey, any kind of honey is fine as long as it's the real deal, not just sugar syrup. I've got 1.5 lemons. This is just what was in the fridge. We're going to the farm shop tomorrow, so I'll have a good old stock up. 1 apple, a medium-sized knob of ginger, not too huge, this is all we've got left, and the last of my Christmas clementines. I think that clementines are my favourite of the citrus family, especially at this time of year. They just taste so lovely, and they're, in my mind, they're just easier to eat because they're smaller, and I love how they taste in a juice. And then I thought for the actual liquid part of the juice, maybe just 1. I think I might only need 1 of my coconut water. Okay, let's start off with the clementines. So I'm just peeling these. Okay, next I'm going to chop my apple, just avoiding the core. Next, the ginger. I don't bother peeling it because there's lots of goodness in the skin. And now let's juice the lemons. Remember, don't throw these away, there's so many good uses for them. Now this honey has crystallized, so it wouldn't be great on yogurt, but it's perfect in a juice to make it sweeter. And finishing touch, some coconut water. You can just use tap water as well. And let's blend. Now I'm going to pour this into a jug through a cheesecloth, and this is because I don't have a juicer. And we carefully start to strain it through. And if you use turmeric within this, just know that it might stain your hands, so I might do this with a sieve if I was using turmeric next time, but I didn't have any in the house, so no turmeric in this batch. So that's a pretty good quantity that this has made. If you're taking a large shot every day, and whoever else you live with, a partner or a daughter or a mum, then that's probably a week's worth at least, because it is quite spicy with the turmeric, so, sorry, with the ginger, so you may not want more than a big shot's worth after your breakfast in the mornings. Okay, the all-important taste test. Let's give this a try. That has got, oh, that has got the all-important fieriness of the ginger. My goodness, that's the gingerols, which really help to fight off any bugs. That is definitely spicy. I'm looking forward to having that for the next week or so in the mornings. I'm always quite surprised with how much it makes, but my favourite part is actually what we do with the pulp. I know you guys have seen this before, but just in case you haven't, I'm gonna make another batch of my tea ice cubes, and I'll show you. Ooh, I did actually see someone online blending in some cranberries, and I have got some left from Christmas. That's a good idea, let's do that. Now I know this looks a bit gross, but bear with me because this is so amazing. You want to take teaspoons of the pulp and put them into your ice cube tray and press it down. And now here's something a bit different. This very much is inspired by what I've seen on Instagram. I want to add even more goodness to my ice cubes, so I'm adding a little bit of rosemary. I think this is good for memory, immunity, digestion. I have no idea what the date is on these, but I've definitely had them since last Christmas, so I thought I'd also use up my star anise and add in a couple of cloves. So there we have my immunity vitamin tonic ice cubes, whatever you want to call them. I just love how easy these are to make, and it makes my tea making in the morning just so much easier. My teapot has got an inbuilt strainer. Here's, it looks a bit gross, but this is the one I've been using all day today. So you just pop one in there, fill it with hot water, leave it for about 10 minutes, and then enjoy. Okay, I just made myself my leek and there's nowhere good to stand. I just made my delicious leek and potato soup. I say made, I had some of the soup that I made last week. It needed finishing today, so yeah, it's just so delicious with, oh, I actually did cheddar croutons today and they were perfection. So now 3:20 and the light is about to go, but I keep saying to myself, I need to get these bulbs planted, otherwise they're just gonna go to waste. So these are, actually I'm not sure about ranunculus. I think I can get them in the ground, but there's a few things that I can put in my raised beds. So I've got some little mini onions. I've never had that much success with onions before, but the garlic that I planted before Christmas is starting to come up, so I think I might put the onions nearby the garlic. And then, oh, I've got more garlic here. Oh my gosh, this really needs to get planted. Oh, I'm too late for these snowdrops. Yeah, I can see they're sprouting. I'm still going to plant them just in case. Yeah, it says actually these snowdrops don't flower plant from August onwards. Why have I left this so late? These snowdrops don't flower until April, so they're a really late variety, so I could still do those. Tulips, we really are so late for tulips, but again, they're so beautiful. I just need to put them in a pot and hope for the best. We've got some hyacinth, some crocus, indoor narcissus, beautiful fringed tulips, and you can't save them until the following year, so I'm just going to throw them in the ground and hope for the best. Right, let's see what pots I've got available. Okay, so I'm going to start with this pot here. I'm going to do quite a compact lasagna. If you're in a similar situation with bulbs that you haven't planted out yet, you might as well give this a try. I don't know if it's going to work, it's super late, but we're going to give it a go. So these are the 4 things that I'm going to plant in here. Starting off with the biggest, which are my beautiful fringed gorilla tulips. How stunning. They just make for the most beautiful cut flowers. Look, they're so keen, they're starting to sprout up. Any that don't end up in pots, I am going to plant outside. And you don't want them touching, but you can put these as close together as you can. Oh, I'm so sorry. Look how opportunistic they are. I'm sorry, beautiful bulbs. You deserved better. So can you see they're all just getting snugly popped in here. I think I can fit one more. There we go. Doesn't matter if they touch a tiny bit, but they do like their own space. Okay, now I'm covering these with soil. And I'm not making it too compact because we want the bulbs to be able to force their way through. Now the next biggest bulb are the indoor narcissus, so they go in next. Oh, these are bigger than I thought. Okay, well, no, they're gonna have to go in another one because they're big. So we'll do the hyacinth. What is wrong with my size perception today? They're huge too. Third time lucky. Crocus. Oh my goodness, these are tiny. Oh, cute. These are the cutest bulbs I have ever seen. Oh my goodness me. These tiny little snowdrops. Adorable. Okay, that is the first pot done. What I'm going to do is when I'm wandering about in the garden tomorrow, I'll collect some moss, and that almost creates like a bit of a blanket but also makes it look prettier. So we'll add the moss tomorrow. Okay, now this is a really rogue idea, but I'm just not confident that these hyacinths are going to grow because they weren't looking terribly happy. So I'm going to sprinkle a load of my pea seeds for pea shoots on top of here, and then at least this soil and this vase gets used for something edible. Yeah, I've never grown microgreens on top of bulbs before. I hope it's not toxic. Please don't try this at home unless you've Googled it. Yeah, and in a couple of weeks at least I'll have some lovely pea shoots coming from this beautiful vase, and I could even have it on my kitchen table as a snip your own pea shoot for your soup, and it'll look really beautiful. That was not very successful, but this is some moss that I actually collected months ago, and I just left it actually in a dog poo bag since then. It's not very good, so actually I think I'll scrap that and get some nice fresh moss tomorrow, but it gives you an idea of how you can just collect little scraps of moss and just do a little bit of a patchwork on the top. So we've got the narcissus and tulips in here, and then if you can see this one over here, that's got tulips in it as well. And I think I've got just enough sunlight to do one more tub of tulips. Okay, the sun has gone down now and my fingers are starting to go numb. So even though it's not completely dark, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna try my hardest, aside from just a couple, celery and maybe some more kind of medicinal plants. I'm really gonna try hard not to get carried away with seed buying this year. But I think what I'll do tomorrow is have a little look through my seed collection and see what I've got, organize it into months, planting months or sowing months. That just helps me to get organized and think about the year ahead in the kitchen garden. But I'm not going to overthink it. I think nature will always do its own thing. So yeah, I don't think there's too much prep that needs to be done, she says. But yeah, really glad that I got a few bulbs done. I need to do a few more over the next couple of days. I need to get my onions and garlic out. Here begins the non-stop to-do list in my head when it comes to the garden. But anyway, let's get inside, light the fire and warm up a little bit. Okay, my darlings, we have entered the danger time for me, which is 5 p.m. and it's when I just feel absolutely exhausted. I could happily go to bed right now, but a few little micro habits that I have set in place for January. As I've said multiple times, I'm not one for big New Year's resolutions. For me, the new year is March in spring, when the days get longer, there's more time to do stuff in a day in spring. Right now, the days feel like they're this big and it's cold and yeah, it's not the time to be setting yourself into new habits, but little teeny micro habits that I have stuck to every day so far this January include starting my day with my nice herbal tea, but also tidying one area of the house every single day. So I haven't decided what it's going to be today. I think given my energy levels it's going to have to be quite a small area, but I have noticed that my makeup drawer, it is overflowing, so I might actually tackle my makeup drawer, which means I'll also clean my makeup brushes. I think if I do that this afternoon / early evening, then I'll feel very productive, and both of those jobs mean I get to watch a YouTube video in the background. So there we go. I'm so glad that we're out of that period now when no one uploads. I powered through and uploaded, but as I mentioned, it's because we have got 2 weeks holiday coming up and I won't be doing, I was about to lie and say I won't be doing any work. I won't be doing much work while we're there. So yes, that's why I've actually really enjoyed creating videos over the quiet period. But yeah, I'm looking forward to everyone uploading again, so I've got plenty more fodder. Anyway, I'm rambling. I've got a box here and we know what that means. So this is an order that I placed on Net-a-Porter during the January sales, but not everything in here was in the sale. There are a few full priced items here too, and this is very, very much, I think most if not all of these pieces are with our upcoming holiday in mind. So it's gonna be a bit weird because I'm gonna be showing you summery pieces on a freezing cold January day. So I'll make it quite snappy, but I thought you might find it interesting. Some of these pieces were bargains in the sale, and some of them I still need to decide if I'm keeping or sending them back. So you guys can help me out with that. By the way, please let me know your feedback now that we've done a couple of weeks with my new schedule, 2 vlogs a week, Wednesdays and Sundays. I know that Wednesday's video wasn't even a vlog, it was a fashion video, so I hope that you don't mind. It feels like I'm really not putting out that much content, but actually that is what I was hoping to achieve, was improving my own work-life balance, because it was almost non-existent. But also I did feel like I was putting out a lot of content. We've got the blog, we've got our newsletter, Instagram, TikTok, everything else, and I just felt like there was too much of me on the internet. So we're pulling it back a little bit, but let me know how you're finding it. Anyway, let's get into this box. So, can't tell what's in each bag, it'll be a surprise as we go. Aha! So, this is the piece that really inspired the whole order. If you watched my Abu Dhabi vlog, which was in November, was it? Or October? I think it was November. Charlie and I went into the 𝑭𝒂𝒻 shop in one of the beautiful shopping malls, and I saw this, instantly fell in love, but I thought, I'm not going to get it here, I will get it when I'm back home in the UK. Oh, there's 2 things in this bag. And I thought that is the perfect dress for the Maldives, because you've got coral and little shells, starfish. It's just a very Maldivian pattern on this dress. If I happen to have filmed any try-on clips by the time I edit this, then I'll show you, but otherwise I'll pop a model photo on the screen here. This dress from 𝑭𝒂𝒻 is the exact same silhouette of another dress that I own, but for some weird reason I cannot find, I'll show you a photo on the screen here, the green beautiful floral version of this dress. I have it, and I thought maybe it would come back in the boxes that I'd accidentally sent it to be rented out on by rotation, but I didn't get it back. I have no idea where that dress is, and it forever annoys me. I love the silhouette, I love the other one, the green one, even more than this dress, but they don't make that or sell that anymore. It's a really lovely, beautiful, lightweight material. You've got a little bit of elastication on the sleeves, very beautiful cinch-in around the waist. You could wear this as, oh my gosh, I need my hair colouring. That always will now make me think of the Housemaid film. If you watched that, let me know what you thought down below. I thought it was so good. Yeah, love the silhouette of this. Can't wait to try it on, but I feel like I know exactly how that's going to fit. And then the other thing in here, now this was in the sale. This looks like a skirt, but it is actually a dress. I love getting Mizoni bits in the sale because they always just feel just right when you're on holiday. You never have to iron them or worry about creasing, and to be honest, their styles really don't change very often, if ever. Like, this could be a piece from the 80s from Mizoni and you would never ever know. So by investing in something, even though it's in the sale, no one's gonna know that it's last season or anything like that. Not that I care in the slightest. It has got these very jazzy tassels on the very high slit that goes up the leg. But I love a dress that I can just pop on over my bikini. Most of my bikinis are bandeau style. And this, I think, is going to be halter neck. So it looks very tiny. It does have some stretch to it though. Hopefully that fits, because I think that was around half price. Still expensive, but for Mizoni, I thought it was pretty good. This is something, this is something that I ordered in summer and I paid full price for, and I ended up sending it back. It's now half price and it is the Chloe visor. But now that I'm seeing it, it's got this beautiful ribbon. To be honest, I could interchange this ribbon. I could put in whatever I want. I've got a sneaky feeling the reason that I returned it, and now it's all coming back to me, is because it's just rather big. I think the visor just looked very big. I thought it would be great for gardening, amazing for sunbathing, because I hate getting the sun on my face. It's just really big. Look, it's too huge. Such a shame. No, I'm thinking even though it's half price, I think it's still going to have to go back because I'm holding it as tight as I would want it. I think I'll just never be happy. Or is it quite practical for lying on a sunbed? Because a full wide brim hat, if you're lying back on a sunbed, you've got the back of the hat that's gonna need to go somewhere. I'm just gonna have a look in the mirror. No, it does just look utterly ridiculous, doesn't it? Oh, such a shame. Okay, note to self, do not buy this again because it's just too big. Chloe, I feel like that's a real design error because I bet loads of people see this on the website. And the model on the website has really voluminous hair, so it doesn't look so stupidly big on her. But yeah, that is not a good look for me. Up next we have a bag. I think this was 40% off as well. I'm starting to lean, someone's going to take this so out of context and prove me wrong, but I'm starting to lean towards bags that don't have logos on them. Shock horror, slightly more subtle. And this is from a brand called Sensei Studios, and I have bought bags from them in the past. I just thought that size, what have I done? This size for me as the bag that I grab for dinners, for lunches, for a beach bag. You can actually fit a lot in a bag this size. It's very, very versatile. It's so lightweight as well if you're worried about your suitcase weight. Super, super light. You've got the tiniest little pocket in here, which is great for a hotel room key. And yeah, 40% off. I think this is like an artisan, hand woven. Ooh, I've just remembered my amazing silly hat from, I can't remember the brand name, you know, the wiggly one. Need to remember to take that with me. A natural, made from tequila straw, which is a natural fiber from Ecuador. Yeah, I love this. It's just perfect for the Maldives, and I love that it doesn't have any lab branding splashed all over it. It's a perfect size. Watch the next thing that I unbox have massive branding over it. Can't remember. Ooh. Ah, I do remember. Okay, this is an interesting comparison kind of to the Chloe visor. This is from Eugenia Kim, which is a very expensive hat brand. I think this maybe was even as much as 60% off. Now I know what you're thinking, Josie, is that a black ribbon. We know that I don't wear black. However, I have every intention of actually swapping it with the green ribbon that came wrapped around my Olivia von Hell pyjama box. I kept that ribbon thinking this is too beautiful to throw away. And then as soon as I saw this on the website in the sales section, I just knew straight away that this would be the use for my Olivia von Hell ribbon. So the top of your head still pokes out of this. Just imagine the ribbon is green. And yeah, as I said, I just love having some kind of visor. It also stops your shoulders being constantly burnt. You can obviously just put a really slim ribbon in. You can be very dramatic if you want to do something crazy. But do you know what? It's really interesting. Camilla, during my sound analysis, colour analysis, she was saying how actually not that many people suit black. I know that lots of people would see this and be like, oh, I've got a black bikini, or I love wearing black. But did you see then how when the black is next to my face, it's just so unflattering? I think if you're the kind of person that has always thought black is your colour and you just naturally lean towards black, try swapping the black out for brown. Like, even if these were brown, I think they'd be so much more softer and more flattering. Do you know what? That's actually why I've been putting off getting my hair coloured. Obviously it is in desperate need of getting coloured, but 50% of my brain says, Josie, you love being blonde, but 50% of my brain is now thinking, just embrace your natural colour. Clearly I'm not naturally this colour. I'm a very, very, very dark blonde / brunette. But it was the colour analysis that made me think maybe I need to go for something warm toned. I don't love how warm toned blonde looks on me personally, so maybe I might go more natural. Scary. Let me know what you think. I might do something bold and crazy. I might do something bold and crazy and get a significant amount chopped off before I go on holiday, because that'd be quite a nice, like, ease into it, wouldn't it? We'll see. But anyway, I love this. I think I got it for a really good price, and I will obviously have a little play around switching in my Olivia von Hell ribbon. If I remember, I'll show you how it looks tomorrow, but I'm chuffed with that. Okay, final piece. I thought I'd order some sunglasses. Oh, it's another hat. Man, I love hats. I love how practical hats are. This is also Eugenia Kim. I think I thought this one just looked really like chilled, easy, because the other one can appear, I need to take my hair clip out, quite glamorous, whereas this one, just like a straw beachy hat, stick it on, jobs are good in. What do we think? It could also be quite a nice gardening hat, but I think I might... Oh, it's my fashion fridge. I've got my ski gear steaming away in the fashion fridge. Please excuse that background noise. Yeah, I think this one may actually go back because I think I have got something quite similar from H&M, which was obviously a fraction of the price. By the way, another really random thing, but these particular hair clips from Anthropologie, do you see how they've got little tiny teeth inside? It stops them, it stops the hair clip from slipping down, and I only have 3 like this with the like mini teeth within it, but they are by far my absolute favourite hair clips. If I can find these exact ones, I'll leave them linked down below. If, like me, you love having your hair just half up, half down, but you find it terribly annoying when the clip just slides out, these ones are the best. So if I can find them, I'll leave them linked. So I think most likely is that I'll be keeping everything except for the Chloe hat and that last Eugenia Kim hat, but I haven't tried on the dresses, so I'll give them a go tomorrow in the daylight. I'm actually going to sign off for the evening because I have got the vlog before this to edit. So yeah, I will see you in the morning. I think it's going to be a beautiful frosty one. We are heading to the gym together. I think we're going to have a breakfast at Daylesford, and yeah, it's going to be a lovely day. So I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, and we have got a glimpse of 2026's first supermoon. This is the full moon, the supermoon, in the sign of Cancer. Wow, isn't it beautiful? And a pearly pink sky. First Daylesford shop of the year. Let's stock up on some nice goodness. Now this is exciting. They have released the alcohol-free 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. Definitely going to have to give this a try. This is interesting. I think they've got a new kind of green tea, 𝑭𝒊𝒅 loose leaf green tea. Wonder what's special about this one. Delicate steamed green tea harvested from the Blue Mountain region in southern India. Interesting. Beef brisket baps cooked on the flame. Gosh, this smells and looks delicious. Thank you. Oh, how cozy that looks. This is officially the world's most luxurious dog bag. Look at this. Oh, cute. We still have quite a lot of snow from yesterday here on this side of the garden where it hasn't been quite so sunny. I'm going to pop a photo on the screen here that Lala took at 5 o'clock in the morning of the moon just completely illuminating this part of the house. It was so bright that you could even see a shadow that the house created. The gravel has almost frozen on the driveway. Oh, it's time for a nice hot cup of tea. Okay, we are back home again. I've actually had to close one of the shutters on the kitchen window because the sun is so low but so bright. I can't remember, Bertie, I can't remember if I said earlier this morning, but I've got into videos of people doing deep analysis of the weather. I don't know if it's because we've been due snow and that just excites me a lot, but we all know that I am a bit obsessed with the weather, more so than a typical Brit. But anyway, the particular video that I was watching last night was saying the reason that we've got this real cold spell and snow and yet clear skies like today is because we have got weather systems coming down from the Arctic, and that amazing pinky purpley blue sky this morning, you can kind of imagine that in the Arctic Circle, just over the icebergs, over the glaciers. It was really quite magical. Anyway, so I thought I would quickly show you what's in our weekly Daylesford food shop. It's quite a random top up of things really, because we are going away shortly on a holiday, but our fridges are pretty much still completely empty from Christmas. We've just still been like living on leftovers and the odd few bits and bobs, so it's maybe not a typical food shop. But anyway, we have stocked up on teas. Charlie still not feeling 100% right since his food poisoning, so the digest tea is something that really calms his tummy. It's actually really great if you've had a very heavy meal like steak and mac and cheese. A tea like this, it's got fennel and licorice. Yeah, just very good for digestion, as is peppermint tea. Normally we wouldn't buy this, but at the moment where it's so cold outside, the mint in our garden is not growing, so we have to get peppermint tea bags, and I've come to the end of my dried mint that I dehydrated. And then this is the new one. I think this is new. I've certainly not seen this in the shop before. The 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 green tea. A gentle steam process creates a prized, milder, fragrant and floral flavour. I like the sound of that, and lots of health benefits from drinking green tea. So I'm going to give that a try shortly and I'll let you know. We always stock up on eggs, free range leg bar eggs. I think that might be the type of chicken. Lexi, chill out please. Whole milk, and the milk at Daylesford comes in these pouches. And you would think that there's not that much in here, but actually it does fill one of those big bottles, like we get the dal and the soups from Quince and Clover, and it just probably a lot easier for them transport and storage wise. I think most of their milk still comes from the cows on the Daylesford estate, so it hasn't had to travel very far, which is super. And then we normally stock up on these bottles of the Daylesford kefir, again because of Charlie's tummy. He's been having shots of kefir after each meal and whenever he feels a bit peckish, to just help to rebalance the gut. But what we also are trying for the first time, or Charlie's going to try, are the mixtures. So I like to make my own smoothies, but Charlie has picked up the turmeric and ginger kefir and blueberry and acai. They both sound absolutely scrumptious. So I'll let you know how those are. Got a couple each of those and a few of the plain. And then we picked up 4 of the yogurt. This is my favourite yogurt. It doesn't contain any strange ingredients. Yogurt is one that annoyingly a lot of brands will trick you with peculiar ingredients, especially fruit yogurts and 0% fat yogurts. Ideally, the healthiest yogurt that you can find is one that has got minimal ingredients. It should really just be whole milk and a kind of culture that's turned into a yogurt. You don't want to see any natural flavourings. Is a bit of a trick wording that makes you think it's good for you, but actually it's got weird flavourings in it. So if you want flavoured yogurt, just get a normal one like that and then blend in some fruit like strawberries or banana to make it whatever flavour you like. So we've got 4 lovely yogurts. Okay, my kettle's boiled, so let's try this green tea. Okay, I'll give that a few moments to steep while I show you what's in the other bag. Loads of dog food, because even though our boys eat different dog, sometimes I forget to defrost it. Not very often, but over Christmas it did happen a few times, so I've stocked up on these. This is beef, organic beef and vegetable. Honestly, these dogs eat better than me. Organic beef and vegetables. They also love the game and pheasant. I love the little cartoons on them. I think that's the 2 flavours that we picked up today. So this came into Daylesford apparently just before Christmas, but I didn't spot it before Christmas. Alcohol-free 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. This is music to my ears, because even though I'm not sober, I don't not drink at all. Over the years, especially since we've moved to the Cotswolds, I would say I drink less and less and less alcohol. I haven't actually had a drop of alcohol in 2026 so far. Maybe I'll see. To be honest, it won't last beyond our holiday. I do like a glass of wine on holiday. But if more places served a really good non-alcoholic wine, like I imagine this will be because it's 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, I would always choose the non-alcoholic option. I just think that we are learning so much more about the health implications of alcohol, and I just sometimes don't think it's worth it. I don't want to be the party pooper, and I admire how Charlie has managed to do over 6.5 years completely sober. I think that is absolutely incredible. His strength of mind when it comes to that is so amazing. And by the way, on that note, I'm going to plug his channel again. He has got an entire like half-an-hour long chatty video about how and why he gave up alcohol, so I'll leave that video linked down below. But I would far more frequently reach for an alcohol-free option if it was genuinely really good. And I love Wild Idol. but it's fizzy, and my preference is a still rosé. So this, 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 𝒆 is one of my favourite 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. I also love the 𝑑𝒐𝑡 de 𝒆, which is what we had at our wedding. But if this tastes like 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 𝒆, it's actually called Forever Love, then this is going to be my drink of choice. We also love the Daylesford Rosé Kombucha, which is not alcoholic, but if you are pregnant, for example, I don't think you can have kombucha, but you would be able to have this. So I will probably open this. I mean, I would never drink all of this by myself, so it needs to be when we're with friends. I don't know, but when I do try this, I will most definitely report back, because I feel like this could become my drink of choice. What else? Dog food, dog food, dog food. Okay, just some sweet potatoes. Mushrooms just amaze me. Like, how does nature grow gills like that? It's just incredible. I don't like the taste of mushrooms. We have to chop it up really small in our recipes because I know they're so good for you. Mushrooms, I go to sleep listening to sleep podcasts on my Headspace app about mushrooms because they're so fascinating, and yet you can fall asleep to it because you don't mind if you miss out a little bit of information. On that note, I know so many of you have already made the most of it. It's actually uncapped, my 2-month free, not even a free trial, just 2 months free use of Headspace. If you have been wanting to do a little bit more breath work this year or meditation, what I love is they call it their, is it intuitive walks? No, what's the word? Walking with intention, something like that. Basically, type the word walk into your Headspace app and it does guided kind of walks. So if you're going out for a 10-minute walk or a 15-minute walk, you listen to this particular Headspace soundtrack, and it encourages you to be a little bit more meditative while you're walking, and I just absolutely love it. So 2 months free use of Headspace. I'll leave the QR code on the screen here if you want to try it out. I highly, highly recommend. 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 𝒆, our bread of choice this week. Another kefir, some clementines, which are just lovely for snacking on. Big knob of ginger. And last but not least, a couple of apples. Apple. Where is that from? Let me know. Okay, perfect. Normally I take in my reusable bags, but we actually sent so many people home from our house with Daylesford bags full of food and gifts over the Christmas period that we needed to top up our supplies. Right, let's try this tea. It might still be a little bit hot. Green tea can be very bitter, so I do often like to have a bit of honey in it. Ooh, I would say that is a little bit lighter and more floral than a classic green tea. Could be quite a good green tea for beginners. That's lovely. Need to wait for that to cool down a little bit more. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, we still have the Christmas florals up, but are they really Christmas florals or are they just pretty florals? I was having this chat with someone earlier. January, apart from days like today, is a miserable month. So why remove the joy from your house, especially if they're not overly festive? But they are getting taken down on Wednesday, so we're coming to the end. This is, come on inside then, you silly Tintin, come on. This is my fortnightly floral delivery from Smith & Munson, and I think we are back in tulip season, which is really exciting because lilies are lovely in the winter, but they're not my favourite flower, and it was lily season. It felt like forever. So I'm really excited to have tulips in the house. It's just that first almost little sign of spring. And these are grown in the UK. It's a family farm up in Lincoln, which I absolutely love. My mum's family are also from Lincoln. So sorry about the dogs having a mad moment. Bertie goes home in a few days, so I'm happy to let them enjoy their mad moment together. When you get tulips, keep them in their paper wrap until they've had a chance to absorb some water. So what you want to do is just snip the bottoms of the stems off about 1 inch. Also, the world's most obvious hack, but for so long I would just chop my flowers in the kitchen using kitchen scissors and then obviously wash them. But now I just keep a pair of secateurs in the kitchen and it makes my life so much easier. Okay, so now they've been snipped, I'm just going to pop them in some water for a couple of hours until the stems have absorbed the water, and this will just mean that the stems are more rigid and your tulips don't go floppy. So I'll give them a couple of hours to drink up the water, and then I'll display them later. Beautiful. Are you okay there, my Ween? You love the snow, don't you? Oh, hey Dexy. It's a bit chilly on my paws, but I just love it. I find it so exciting. Oh, you're such buns. You're such buns of love, you are, my children. My gosh, it's chilly. Should we shut the door? I know Bertie's outside, but it's chilly. Okay, I have made a nice hot cup of coffee. It always tastes so much better if you slurp it, which is probably the worst etiquette in the world. And I promise I didn't buy moss from Daylesford. I just used a carrier bag to forage some moss from the walls around the pond, and all I'm going to do is now just place it on top of the bulbs that I planted yesterday. Sowed. It just kind of acts like a little blanket, and also looks a bit prettier than the compost. I'm actually not sure if I've got quite enough here. I might have to go out and forage some more. Luckily at this time of year where it's so damp, it grows really quickly. I wonder if there are any like food benefits to eating moss. Obviously sea moss is an ingredient that everyone gets really excited for, but I don't know about typical English country garden moss. Actually, this one's got my pea shoots in it, so I'm probably better off not putting moss on this one. Okay, that was a very productive hour or so in the garden. I planted out my garlic, planted out a few tulip bulbs at the end there, literally digging in the snow to get to them, so who knows if they're going to flower or not, but they definitely stand more chance flowering out there than they would do if I left them in the bags in the greenhouse, so fingers crossed. Do you know what? The one problem with getting your nails done so close to Christmas is in early January I don't really feel like having red nails, but I've got an appointment next week, so looking forward to getting my clean girl January manicure. My battery is flashing, but I just want to show you some more of this no plastic activewear that I've been ordering. This is a brand that advertised to me on Instagram stories. It's called Airrock. Is that how you'd say it? I mean, initially you can tell that there's no plastic in the fabric. It feels very, very soft. It doesn't have that sheen to it like polyester strands have. The colour and the design is really, really nice. Little cropped top with a crisscross design at the back. I am not doing a workout tomorrow, but I am on Monday. So I'll wear this to Pilates on Monday and put it to the test. Plastic-free kind of paper packaging. I have to say, I ordered, I think, 3 or 4 different sets from different brands in order to give you guys, probably at the end of January when I've done enough workouts in these sets, I'll give a full review, maybe in our newsletter, of my favourite plastic-free gym and swim pieces. Obviously, quite a lot of them haven't arrived yet. There's some pieces coming from LA. I think I ordered from an Australian brand. It looks like these are going to be a little bit baggier. The one thing with not having plastic or polyester in your gym wear is it doesn't have quite the same elasticity, but I guess you've got to choose what's more important to you. Sorry, I did have to go and change my battery. What was I saying? Yeah, like the colour, like how high-waisted they look. This looks like it's going to be quite a nice, snug waistband. And did I see a pocket? Did I see a pocket? Not that I ever use a pocket in my leggings, no I don't. And the material of these is premium natural activewear for modern movers. That doesn't say on there. This is 62% viscose from bamboo and 23% organic cotton. Designed in London, made in Vietnam, wash at 30 degrees, don't tumble dry. Yeah, so that looks, if you can hear a noise in the background, Charlie's got a new vacuum cleaner, so he's having a really good time right now. But yes, I will try this set out on Monday, if I shot anything by then, or will I have published this by then. If I've got any footage, I'll pop it on the screen here trying this out. But as I said, I'll do a full review of all of the brands that I've purchased from at the end of the month, telling you which one I think has got the best fabric, the best fit, the best design, and hopefully you might find it useful. So it is 10 to 4 now, and I am going to take my makeup off, cleanse my face, because we have got Nicole coming to the house today, this evening. Charlie's having a 60-minute massage, 4 till 5. Then I'm gonna have a 60-minute massage, 5 till 6, which is such a treat. And then Nicole is going to do brow tint and lamination and lash tint for me. It's a little bit early to get it done before our holiday, but this is actually the only time I can squeeze it in. So yeah, I love having beauty treatments done at home because then I can just roll into bed. So because of the lash and brow treatments, I need to take my makeup off. So let's do that together. I am such a creature of habit, as you guys know, always starting with a face halo. Honestly, if anyone doesn't use these, why not? Because they just work so well. They are literally just a disc of this magical material that takes off your makeup using only water, and then you throw it in the washing machine, they get nice and clean, and you reuse it a million times. Charlie did buy me a few new ones in my stocking for Christmas, which is so kind of him. So if I come across one that's a little bit tired looking, I will replace it. But it even removes waterproof makeup. Now I do double cleanse, so I'll use a cleanser after this. Sometimes when I've been really tired and lazy, I have had evenings where I only use a face halo, but it saves you on product. Let's face it, cleansers are expensive, especially if you use a nice luxurious one like an 𝑦𝒊𝒏𝒅 cleansing balm or something like that. So it saves you money, it saves you product, and I like the idea of not using quite so many products on my skin. So that's cleanse number 1. Now, I'm actually not terribly loyal with cleansers. The one that I'm using at the moment and I am very much liking is 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. Do you remember I went to Belmond Hotel, I think last year, oh, definitely last year, it wasn't in the last week, maybe even 2024, and we had like an Apple experience at Le Manoir with Origins, and that was all to celebrate this collection. It's a really nice, gentle, buttery soft cleansing balm, but like a liquid cleansing balm, not a solid one, and it very gently lifts any remaining makeup, but also just deeply cleans the skin, removes any mascara, which is the most important thing when you're getting a lash tint. I get dark brown put on my lashes and light brown put on my brows. I've decided I'm actually not going to get LVL lash lifts anymore, which is when they kind of chemically curl your lashes, because something about having that strength of chemicals so close to my eyes just doesn't sit well with me. And for years and years I've had LVL lash lifts before holidays, but the last couple of times I've been thinking, surely this is not good for my eyes. Whereas a tint is easy, it's a dye, it's on and off, It doesn't feel super chemically. Like when you get an LVL lash lift, don't get me wrong, I love how it looks, but you can really smell the chemicals. Bit of water to make it milky. And Charlie bought these new flannels from Christie. Loads of our towels, if not all of them in the house, are from Christie, and they are the softest flannels in the world. Especially with face cloths, I think it is quite a good idea to replace them maybe once a year, so perhaps Christmas time, or I don't know if they do January sales, quite a good time to treat yourself to some new face cloths. It reminds me of that Gavin and Stacey scene when Pam takes the towels to Gwen's house. I am going to try something new. I cannot remember who recommended this, but it would have been a recommendation because I don't think I'd have just randomly chosen this. It's from Medicate, and this is Press and Glow Daily Daily. So it can't be too harsh then. It is an exfoliating PHA tonic with enzyme activator. If you get clogged pores, then a daily exfoliator that's like a chemical exfoliator is what most facialists recommend. Ooh, how do you get into this? I like the method of pumping onto a cotton pad. And especially because I use fake tan on my face, I do have quite visible pores. So I bought this with the aim of hopefully reducing my pore size, especially because when we're on holiday I will not be wearing makeup. It'll be nice to have minimized pores on beach days. Yeah, I think that is pretty gentle because I can't feel any tingling like you can sometimes with stronger AHA products. And again, I know this is quite a niche recommendation for this time of year, but I will never forget Bambi Does Beauty, Elle, she recommended if you've got like an AHA product and you don't want to get dry on your elbows or knees if you're fake tanning, just rub a little bit of the AHA exfoliating tonic on your elbows. I think it probably also works on like knuckles, any areas if you find that fake tan just kind of settles, because I will be doing a full body fake tan before holiday. Now I have an empty here. I'm just about to use the very last dregs of the Pie Renewal Serum. I got this when we went to Lakes by You with Pie at the end of summer? Yeah, I think it was the end of summer. I've used this every morning since then and I've loved it. It contains NAD+ and tripeptide. It's very, very anti-aging, helps your skin cells do what they're meant to do in terms of reparativeness and plumpingness, very, very anti-aging. I've absolutely loved it. It's a really, really gentle serum. Literally the very, very, very last drops. I will be repurchasing that. Oh no, not enough left. So now I'm going to pop a little bit of the LMS Lovely Rose Micro Serum on. It's nice to use soothing products if you've used an AHA kind of exfoliator. And I'm going to finish with the Infamous Chamomile and Rosehip Soothing Moisturizer from Pie Skincare. This is a really nice, quite thick, I would say it's more of a night cream. And one of the reasons I love this is because the ingredients are so gentle, it would never clash with any active ingredients. So it's a good one if you use like a Tretinoin, a Renew and Me or a Skin and Me, if you need a little bit of extra moisture. Okay, I'm just going to take my jewellery off so that as soon as Nicole is here and it's my turn, I'm ready to faceplant the massage table. I thought I would just give a really quick another TV recommendation. I know I was raving about All Her Faults and Amadeus in my Christmas video, but Charlie and I have also, and then when I finished those I was like, what do I watch now? So I put a question box up on Instagram and quite a lot of you recommended a program called The Beast in Me. I think it's on Netflix and we are only 2 episodes in, but I'm really enjoying that so far. If you like a thriller set in, is it Long Island? And I find like the suburbs of New York just, oh, that nearly went down the sink. Oh, nearly lost my earring down the sink. Yeah, I find the suburbs of New York weirdly just fascinating. Been watching American train journeys on YouTube lately as well. But yeah, The Beast in Me, another TV recommendation.